If he gets 14 months, if the defense gets what they want, he'd essentially get out October 3rd because
he's been in
for a year,
months.
And you get 15% credit for time served. So he'd basically be out after the sentence, and then he'd be on supervised release.
Right.
Sean Diddy storms out of federal lockup on live TV. His lawyers confirm his release date, October 3rd. Not years from now, just days away. Insiders claim his first move will be revenge, quick and ruthless. The news broke overnight, catching sponsors off guard and forcing streaming platforms to rush out statements as rumors swirled about Diddy's next steps. By noon, ad campaigns were already on pause. A leaked memo revealed that his legal team argued Diddy had already served the required 14 months, thanks to humane jail conditions and a judge who threw out nearly all major charges. The countdown has begun. Everyone close to Diddy knows what it means. October 3rd isn't the end. It's a live grenade waiting to explode in boardrooms and green rooms from New York to Malibu.
If the defense in the Diddy case gets its way, Diddy could be a free man next month.
Court records describe maggots in meals and 13 months without sunlight. Meanwhile, Diddy's story is everywhere. News feeds, Twitter, and even Hulu, which cancelled its planned documentary after the verdict. In court, Diddy collapsed to his knees when a jury cleared him of racketeering and trafficking. But he was still left with two-man act charges for moving freak-off participants across state lines. Normally, that would mean a decade in prison. But the judge sided with the defense, wiping out the rest. At 1 p.m., MTV blacked out a scheduled Combs tribute pending legal clarity, while LA radio stations cut back on bad boy spins under pressure from worried brand partners. According to the defense, in the past 2 years, Mr. Combs' career and reputation have been destroyed. The numbers back it up. Since September 2024, he's lost over 100 employees. His kids were dropped from acting and music deals, and Howard University returned every dollar he donated, including his honorary degree. The judge wasn't moved by Diddy's $50 million bail offer, pointing instead to violent incidents with ex-girlfriends and the infamous hotel security tape. Prosecutors, bitter over the split verdict, accused him of orchestrating every detail of his freak-offs, a term now etched into transcripts and late-night comedy. They questioned why charges that once carried a possible life sentence suddenly disappeared. A former road manager claims Combs keeps a mental list of everyone who flipped or abandoned him when things got hot. Staff at his liquor company say his PR team has spent the past 48 hours digging up dirt on anyone who cooperated with prosecutors. The paranoia is spreading. 2 major radio executives confirmed their staff were told to erase any contacts tied to either side of the case. The biggest question remains: who signed off on this deal, and why now?
I think when it came to, it's not just the more serious charges, but it's the more complex charges, where the jury, in order to, for instance, find guilt on the racketeering charge, was going to have to find not just that Sean Combs had kicked his girlfriend, had beat people up, had engaged in truly abhorrent behavior, but that he ran a criminal enterprise.
It's not just Diddy's legal escape that has the industry on edge. Sources say he spent his time behind bars plotting his next moves. And the word spreading isn't forgiveness. It's revenge. One former insider, no longer bound by an NDA, claims Diddy plans to burn every bridge necessary. The stakes are high. Multi-million-dollar contracts, entire festival lineups, and likely new lawsuits from promoters left with cancelled tour deals. Those bracing for fallout include 2 Grammy winners, a daytime talk show host, and at least one Atlanta producer who already pulled his Diddy collaborations from streaming platforms. The fear is spreading fast. A Sony Music executive confirmed their crisis team flagged 4 major collaborations for review just hours before Diddy's lawyers filed a written request for his immediate release with Judge Arun Subramanian. Diddy's 13 months inside Brooklyn's notorious detention center cost him more than air and sunlight. Defense filings described violence against him and others, lockdowns after stabbings, and guards flipping on fluorescent lights every 2 hours for self-harm checks. His lawyers argue he has already paid the price, pointing out he's now sober for the first time in 25 years and even launched a jailhouse business program. But the industry isn't swayed. Instead, many fear Diddy will weaponize what he gathered during the trial: emails, bank transfers, backstage recordings. He knows where the bodies are buried, a Miami promoter said, echoing the whispered warnings now flying through late-night calls and deleted texts.
The judge right now is going through a number of different reasons. Again, very quick reporting indicates that the judge is citing to the defense attorney.
By September 25th, quiet panic had spread among Diddy's former allies. Hulu canceled the Combs family reality series. Charter schools in Harlem, the Bronx, and Connecticut removed his name from their boards. When Diddy walks free on October 3rd, the same judge who once denied him bail, citing a heavy burden of proof, will release him with time served and what insiders describe as a grudge the size of Manhattan. Label veterans insist his rumored revenge list is real. And it doesn't just target ex-friends. It could include business partners, former security staff, and even executives who quietly cooperated under immunity. Two of Diddy's former lawyers, speaking off the record, warned that subpoenaed phone records and private messages from the trial could cause real damage if leaked. The networks have stayed silent, but the rumor mill has shifted to an even bigger question. Did Diddy cut a deal with the feds to secure his shock release? It's the theory no one dares say publicly, but everyone is whispering in texts. Historically, reversals like this happen for two reasons. Someone hands over names or someone provides evidence the government needs. A West Coast producer with ties to Combs claims the mogul named names from the underworld. Big names, not just from music. No documents confirm it, but the pattern looks like every classic courtroom exchange in federal history. Diddy's attorneys insist their client used his time wisely, sobering up, building programs, and enduring punishment. But in the music industry, insiders are reading it differently. October 3rd could mark the start of his revenge, or the day Hollywood's darkest secrets begin spilling out, one subpoena at a time.
But they needed to show that there was an agreement, that the organization knew what it was doing, that it was an enterprise, not in law, but in fact, that people understood the object of the enterprise, which was to promote Sean Combs and his brands and sort of fulfill any deviant desires he may have had, and then to cover up any crimes committed over the course of fulfilling the desires.
Behind the velvet ropes, silence has become both golden and suspicious. On September 25th, a scan through celebrity Instagram accounts showed not just a disappearance, but a full-on erasure. Photos with Diddy, once flaunted as badges of cool, vanished from feeds faster than sponsored posts after a scandal. Publicists for actors, rappers, and reality stars declined to comment, either citing legal advice or ignoring calls altogether. Industry trackers noted at least 9 talent managers scrubbing any mention of bad boy records from client bios, as if those platinum years never happened. The hush is deafening and the effect chilling. A former PR staffer from Revolt TV said no one wants their name tied to Diddy, not even on a Christmas card. Brand partnerships are frozen, not out of outrage at what Diddy did, but out of fear of what he might reveal. This isn't loyalty, it's survival. The people who once bragged about Shaw love at every after-party now hide behind security gates, praying the next wave of leaks or subpoenas skips their inbox. Entire friend groups act like they barely knew him. One daytime talk show host, often front row at Combs' birthday parties, reportedly told her producer to never mention him again on air or online. 3 reality stars with Diddy ties told friends they were on vacation indefinitely, and even changed their numbers. Lawyers are working overtime. A partner at a major entertainment law firm confirmed his office fielded 5 requests in a single week for preemptive NDA reviews tied to old Combs projects. To insiders, the sudden silence feels less like panic and more like coordinated damage control. The fear isn't just guilt by association. It's that Diddy has the receipts. One manager summed it up. The quiet is the loudest thing in Hollywood right now. Networks haven't commented, but sources say studio executives are tracking every unfollow and deleted post as if they're mapping out who might be in Diddy's crosshairs.
Yeah. Blowing up cars. Yeah. Is he this gangster that behind the scenes that is that him? Or is that
Shout out to Wendy Williams.
Inside the cell block, the story was never about pity. The Diddy who entered Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center is not the same man walking out. What happened in there is already turning into legend. According to court filings, guard reports, and leaked letters, he endured violence, lockdowns, and humiliations that would have broken most men. His defense told Judge Subramanian that he hadn't breathed fresh air in nearly 13 months. They argued he survived brutal conditions and became sober for the first time in 25 years. Forget redemption. This isn't a comeback tour. It's a prison noir transformation. Staff say Diddy mentored inmates, created an entrepreneurship program, and stayed incident-free. A clean record in one of the most chaotic facilities in America. If there's a Hollywood script here, it's not about a fallen mogul finding softness. It's about a survivor sharpening his blade, plotting his next empire under sleepless nights and fluorescent lights. As one former associate put it, he went in a boss. He's coming out a chess master. The scars aren't just emotional. While Diddy sat locked up, the empire he built over decades collapsed piece by piece with every headline and hashtag. More than 100 employees lost their jobs as deals cratered. His 7 children, once poised to inherit a pop culture dynasty, saw their projects cancelled and doors slammed shut in acting, fashion, and music. Collateral damage from a war they never started. Bad Boy Records, once synonymous with chart-topping hits, is now whispered about like a cautionary tale at executive brunches. Charities in Harlem, the Bronx, and Connecticut scrubbed his name. Howard University boxed up his honorary degree for return mail. This isn't cancel culture. It's humiliation by association, spreading wider than any mixtape ever did. A former tour manager warned, "Nobody's hands are clean. The people who thought they were safe are just waiting for the hammer to drop." With freedom looming, Combs isn't just reclaiming his name. He's threatening to take back everything, even if it means burning the bridges that left him stranded.
I'm sorry, I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck 21 years later.
October 3rd isn't just a date on the calendar. It's the spark to a powder keg the industry pretends doesn't exist. Whether it's revenge, revelation, or both, the fallout will hit harder than any chart-topping single. Stay locked in, because when Diddy walks out, the real story begins, and no one knows who'll be left standing.